The Indian megacity of Mumbai is facing a big problem. Much of the city is below the high tide line, and floodwaters already overwhelm the city's decrepit drainage system. Ganga lives in Dharavi, one of the poorest and most vulnerable areas in the city.
Usually, there is a 4.5 meter high tide in this area, and sometimes it reaches 5 meters. So water does come near our homes, but usually recedes quickly.
These forestry officers are trying to help control the flooding by planting trees.
If we lose mangroves, there will be major flooding as water ingress will happen as sea level rises and water seeps into the city, causing human casualties.
Patil says his team has facilitated the growth of more than 300 square kilometers of mangroves in the state of Maharashtra, which boosted protection from rising sea levels there by 82% in the last 4 years. But environmentalists say much more needs to be done. The laws prioritize coastal development over protection, activists say. And large swathes of Mumbai's beaches are already being lost to rising seas.
Every time the emphasis of the government is that how they allow more construction on the coast. And that is the reason. That is from 500 meters is reduced to 100 meters, 50 meters and 520 meters. Now it's like open heaven for the builders to construct anything on the coast.
The UN predicts that the sea level could rise by almost a meter by the year 2100 with the current global heating rate. If that happens, one academic report says a quarter of Mumbai, a city of nearly 19 million people, could be affected by rising seas. Rahul Radhakrishnan, TRT World.
And for more on this, Martin Koehring joins us from London. He's the head of the Economist Group's World Ocean Initiative. Welcome to the program, Martin. In short, this latest UN report says that the climate crisis is devastating our seas and frozen regions like never before. What impact is this having on life on Earth?
Thanks for having me. So it's really important to highlight that the ocean is crucial for the world's ecosystem. 90% of all excess heat in the climate system is absorbed by the ocean. The ocean plays a crucial role for us to protect us from global heating. But this report really highlights again what happens if the current trajectory of greenhouse gas emissions continues. So if we do continue and do not do anything about mitigating and reducing emissions, then the heat that the ocean will have to absorb from our activities will be up to 7 times larger between now and the end of the century than it was between the 1970s and now. And that is a huge demand on the ocean that we're putting. And this heating of the ocean has an impact on many blue economy sectors. It affects oxygen availability, it affects nutrients in the ocean, and this in turn affects, for example, fish and seafood. For example, one crucial blue economy sector is fishing. 4.5 a billion people on this planet depend on seafood as a major source of protein for at least 15% of their annual protein intake. So it's really, really important. This global heating of the ocean and the need for the ocean to absorb this heat has a massive impact on fishing. 260 a million people depend, for example, on fishing. So it has a huge impact.
Now, for some people, including a few world leaders, the impact on the climate crisis is more theoretical in their minds. But you outlined there just how tangible the impact is on global economies that's happening right now. Why don't you think the message is going through to some of these leaders?
Well, it's really important to have that economic link. You mentioned that there, this economic link, and highlighting that the blue economy is really important. The ocean economy already is the 7th largest economy in the world if it was compared to countries. So it is crucial that governments really get the importance of the blue economy. And one important element is really that the effects that, for example, natural disasters are having. I mean, already, and this is highlighted in this report again, that natural disasters and sea level events that used to happen once every century are now expected to happen once every year by mid-century. And this sea level rise has a huge impact, for example, on small island nations that could become uninhabitable. Already you highlighted in your report that cities and their coastal infrastructures are already impacted. Global estimates expect that more than $500 billion are already lost in economic activity every year as a result of major coastal natural disasters. And 26 million people every year fall into poverty as a result of these natural disasters. So there is an imperative to really act for governments, if it's because of the economic loss, but also because of the social dimension. So it's really important to act.
Okay, some terrifying findings there. But Martin Koehring, thank you so much for analysing them for us on Money Talks.